Out. Oh, got some bubble wrap there. Bag to pull that out, see what that is. It's an AES game. Forgot to test World Heroes 2. So that looks pretty sweet. Carrier bags. Guessing this is the CD. So have a quick look. No. A bit of tape there, just carefully. Like that. Oh, Panasonic 3DO. Fantastic. I didn't think that was going to come with it. It's awesome. Much appreciated for that. Brilliant. I'll look at that at some point in the future. This is what we need to look at first. Bubble wrap, so hopefully it's looking alright there. Is this it? Is this the AES? This can't be an AES, this looks tiny. What's this? Yes, it's an AES. Well, you can see that, that's smaller than I would have expected, to be fair. I just can't get over how small they are. I don't know what it is, you know, perception. I just expected these to be much bigger. I don't know, they feel a bit cheap as well, you know, plastic and stuff. I'm shocked. You've got a bit of cracked plastic there, I don't know if you can see that. I'm presuming that was already missing because there was nothing inside the bubble wrap, so... and then obviously you switch. I won an AES over the weekend, so what I'm hoping it's got the same sort of assembly here with the switch thing. And I'll see if I can make something out of some acrylic, I don't know, I mean it's quite far away in there to the actual switch itself, but in theory, a few pieces of layered acrylic with some sort of notch on the end, I reckon I should be able to do something for that. But yeah, I mean the general condition there looks alright. No screws, so I guess the lid will just come straight off, so we'll have a look at that in a sec. Just put that to the side. Bubble wrap, carrier bag. And we've got this. So this is bigger. That's not what you expected at all. I thought the AES would be the larger of the two, to be fair. It's funny how when you see something like this first hand, how different it can appear. Yeah, so you've got a CD, the CD's come out there and floated around. It's not scratched, so that's okay, so I'll just put that carefully to the side. Yeah, it looks alright. Don't see any damage to the case. Screws again missing from that, so not a problem. Presume you've got the screws at home. I think that's it. So let's just double check. The old carrier bags in the box. Okay, I'm just going to look back in there. I've got a bit more spare bubble wrap, so I'll perhaps use a bit more, send it back just to be on the safe side. It can be hard to get hold of bubble wrap, unless you go out and buy a roll of it or something. So, all that. This is the bag of bits and pieces. Sorry, my cat's pretty inquisitive, as they usually are. So let's see what we've got here. So, what's this? Yours to mod, happy modding. Oh, fantastic. Haha, sweet. Great, thanks a lot for that. Much appreciated, mate. That's brilliant stuff. Yeah, I'll do some experimentation with that. Brilliant. I can't believe they managed to build a C64 into a stick like that. That's brilliant. So that's that. Much appreciated, mate. That's just brilliant. It really is. What's this here? Old 3DO laser. Wow. Brilliant. Okay, I'll have a play with that at some point as well. Old motor Neo CD. So might test that first. Actually, we'll have a look at that. because I'm still waiting for a chip for this the Neo CD. I've preemptively ordered a bit that I think is going to be the part before we even have a look at this, and this is the new CD laser, so it's currently got the old one in presumably. We'll just have a quick look at that. I'll be careful not to touch anything here because static. I did earth myself a light switch, but obviously been playing around with these bags and things, you know. Interesting thing I'll point out with this straight away, and I guess it's because it's been adjusted. That laser pot there is at a funny angle, a very funny angle in fact. Just having a quick look around it really. Yeah, I don't see any static, certainly not obvious static solder points to remove either on these. So anyway, I'll put that back in the bag. That's useful. We'll see if we can get it working. We'll test the motor and test the other laser as well and just see what's what, so that maybe you can sell those as spares. What's this here? This is power supply, Sega power supply. What's that for? Presumably for one of these systems, not sure which. And another power supply, SNK Neo Geo power CD, so that's the CD power adapter. So I guess he's using this Sega adapter for the AES there, and a SCART lead, which will work for both, I think. So brilliant. Okay, so let's just put everything out of the way for the moment, and I'll start by just checking that motor. So just get the meter set to resistance. We've got a couple of motors on here, obviously. We've got one here, so let's just check that and see what that measures. Yeah, 12 ohms, that's about right. It can vary, it can be anything from, you know, maybe a couple of ohms or even less than a single ohm, really, right up to maybe 15, 20 ohms, so if that looks like that's probably okay. Let's check this other motor. So you've got two motors on this, one for the disc rotation, one for the head movement. There you go, it's about 18, 19, 20 ohms-ish. So that would suggest those look okay. Now, I did have a look at the gears and things here, just free rotating those. Feels relatively smooth. Occasionally you get a bit of a notch, you know, maybe it's a tiny bit of wear there, but those feel alright. So it's useful, this whole thing's going to be useful to somebody at some point, either for this system or to sell as a spare, or to keep as a spare, because presumably those do break from time to time. So we'll just give these motors a test. I'm not sure if the treble A is going to work, but we'll give it a try anyway. Yeah, I think you can see that it's rotating, so that motor's fine. So let's try the other one. This one's going to be a bit more difficult to determine. Might be able to see the gear. If you keep your eyes on that gear there, might be able to see that gear. Yeah, see it rotate. Obviously it's at slower pace. Not sure if yeah, it slipped off. Because it's upside down, that top gear has the potential to move around there. It rotated a bit and then slipped off there. It'll slip off, it slipped off there. But that's rotating, so there's nothing wrong with that assembly at all. So we'll put this back away now. And I'll just write on that piece of paper, motors all okay. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.